Hi guys, today's gonna be a fun video. Okay, so of course, if you are a regular or subscriber from our YouTube channel, you may have seen some of our videos, right?
Yeah.
And a few videos we talk about 15 years versus a 30-year mortgage, PMI, right? No PMI or PMI, right? And recently we talk about the 16 characteristic of an efficient financial vehicle, and some of the video we mentioned that about like a master account, right? And so is a build up into this video because in this video we're gonna share with you a financial vehicle that we believe is the foundation, right?
Okay.
And of course it has a lot of those characteristics about that we just learned, and I would say maybe 15 out of 16 characteristics. Okay. And so we're gonna review the big quote secret now. Okay,
Yes.
so are you ready, Thanh?
Let's go.
Okay,
Let's go.
all right.
I'm ready.
So-
You guys ready?
All right, so let's see. So that vehicle that we talk about, the name is this. Okay, you may have heard some people mention, right, the AND asset, right? But in with our Infrajoy company, we like to refer it as the Prosperity Vault. Okay, so what is that name? Okay, let me ask you this thing. So when you think about a vault, what comes to your mind?
Safety, security,
Okay.
right? Yeah, and you pretty much store your vault. You store all your valuables in there,
Yes, something that's valuable to you,
and
right?
this and should be accessible to only you, or
Right.
whoever you want accessible to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's a privacy there.
There is a
Right.
privacy.
That's
should
awesome.
be.
It should be, right? Okay. And valuable store, store your capital.
Right.
That's great. So when that's why when we refer to the vault or prosperity vault is we like that security, safety, right? Is a foundation of your financial picture,
Right.
And accessible liquidity, right? We talk about that.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, why is prosperity vault, right? So we have the vault, and also we have the prosperity. And if you remember one of our video with Camp, we talked about the 7 principles of prosperity. And if you remember, the number 7 is multiply, right? And so while our capital is stored secure and safely, right? We want that capital to be doing multiple jobs for us or for you, right? Rather than just one. And so we want to help our money multitask, doing multiple jobs at the same time rather than just one. And so if we can actually have that aspect, right? The money is not just being there and secure and accessible.
It's just
they
sitting
can
there,
grow and serve your family and your why and your aspiration as well. And so that is why we refer and we call this vehicle the Prosperity Vault.
Yes.
So we good on that?
We are good.
All right, okay,
We're good.
cool.
Are you guys good
All
on
right,
that?
now the question is, I mean, if you look at in the dictionary, right? Like, what is a financial vehicle that's called Prosperity Vault?
What is that?
What is that?
What is that?
Okay. All right. So we're sorry. The name is gonna be a little long. Okay, but the Prosperity Vault is a non-traditional, flexible, ultra high cash value whole life policy contract from a mutual life insurance company that pays dividends. Whew.
That's a mouthful. That's why we call it the Prosperity Vault for short.
All right. So we're gonna have a chance to go over all of those characteristics. But in fact, in this video, of course, we're gonna share with you the important aspect that we look into when we design or learn more about the vault.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So number one, I mean, when you talk about this, is a whole life policy. So it's a life insurance, right? Why don't you start with the first aspect we look into?
So again, the first aspect is it is a life insurance company.
Right.
So why do we choose a life insurance company? Well, if you think about it, life insurance company has always been there for the longest time.
Yes.
Over 200 years.
Yeah.
And to over 200 years, they have always held their end of the bargain as far as paying dividends as far as paying death benefits. They have pretty much passed the test of time.
Right.
So that's why they're very strong, stable, and it's trustworthy.
And I agree. And think about this: is past the test of the Great Depression, right?
Yes.
World War One, World War Two, right?
That's right.
The market crash in the 80s, 2000, 2008,
Yeah.
and recently 2020.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that is a huge and long track record. And so life insurance company, life insurance products, is they are always very conservative in their investment portfolio, and they have that long term vision.
Right.
So that's number one. How about number two?
Number two is it has to be mutual from a mutual company.
Okay.
Right? So that means what does it mean by mutual? The mutual means that if you purchases a policy from this life insurance company, you are the owner of that company. You are part owner along with other policy owners, part owner of that company.
Right.
And why is that important? Well, that's important because if the company does well, it profits. Where does that profit goes to? It goes to the owner. And who's the owner? You. So basically the company works for you. You want that company to work for you.
Right.
Instead of you working for the company and somebody else takes the profit, you get the profit.
Yes. And because there are two types of life insurance company, there's a stock company and mutual company, right? And the stock company, like Kang just mentioned, stock company, they are owned by shareholders, right? Not the policy holders.
Right.
And then in this case, with a mutual company, the policy holders is a customer and the co-owner too.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Ownership.
That's important.
Yep, that's huge. So when we set up, the Prosperity Vault, right? We don't use stock company, right? We do partner and with mutual company.
Right.
Okay. So that's number two.
Okay. And number three is it pays dividend.
Yes.
It pays dividend. So, and why is that important? That's important because it's just extra money.
Yep.
Right.
Your account grows, right? Your
Right.
assets grow, right?
Yes. So in addition to what you're putting in, and then what the life insurance company is guaranteeing as far as interest, dividends or that profit each year that they declare, and that goes to the policy owners, which are you.
Yeah.
So you get a share of that profit, and who doesn't want that?
Right. And there's some company and there's some particular product that does not pay out dividends, right? And then there is a reason for it, but of course, when we set up, this type of strategy and product, we want to have, company that pay out dividends,
Right.
Especially partner with company that pay out dividends at least 100 years straight, right? And so that's one of the things that's very important.
That's very
us.
important. Of course. All right. And number four is the contract itself. Yeah. So in a contract, it is very important, of course, because a contract pretty much puts two parties into agreement that that each side holds up their end of the bargain. That's important. That's key because you don't want any side bailing out. Especially the other side, right?
Or change the rule on their own term.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So to your point, I think you've heard of us saying about this book, The End Asset by Caleb Williams, and in fact, in one of the page that talk about the contract, I just I just read you this, right? So the contract governs the obligations and benefits of each party. This is important because your prosperity vault, right, your master account needs to be in a vehicle which serve you and in which you can trust. And so that's just basically solidify what you just mentioned.
Right.
Of course, you have more time, even more time. Highly recommend and reading this book, and it's all in there.
That's right.
So we have life insurance, we have mutually owned company, we have dividend paying, we have contract. What is the last important aspect?
The last important aspect, and is very important, is it has to be specially designed the way we're talking about. So basically the way we're talking about the specially designed is once we put in a premium into the life insurance policy, we have immediate cash value to be able to pull out to use for whatever we want.
Yeah.
And that's that's the importance. That's liquidity, and we all need liquidity for our money.
Yep. Yeah, and it could be access, it could be leverage, right? And again, I think not a lot of people know about this specific characteristic, but the design of a whole life policy in the Prosperity Vault, concept is key. And I know that you had a whole life policy before knowing about the Prosperity Vault, right? I mean, it's a good policy, but could you share with
Sure.
your specific story there?
Sure. So this was 10 years ago before I had a family. I was single, and I was approached by an agent, and I was already doing business with them. They were covering other aspects of what I needed, and they pitched a whole life or actually they just pitched a life insurance policy to me. I didn't know what it was at the time. All I heard was, "Hey, you pay into this for 15 years. You will still, and that's it, no more. You will still have life insurance beyond until you die." To me, I thought that was important because eventually my goal is I want a family. So just pay this for 15 years. After that, I don't have to pay anymore. I still have life insurance for my family later on when I die. It'll pass on the death benefit. Okay, they'll sign me on. And I bought it. 10 years later, I found about this new concept here, the Prosperity Vault.
Yes.
And I look back into that policy, and it's performing well. It's not designed like it is supposed to be today.
Knowing what you know.
Knowing what I know.
Yeah.
However, the way it was designed was initially in the first 2-3 years there's barely any cash value from what I put in, but 10 years later there is a good chunk in there where I'm able to actually use it as the Prosperity Vault.
Yes.
Even though it's not designed that way now, but knowing what I know now, I can definitely get a better one.
Yeah. And so again, when we work with our client, we of course educate them about the characteristic, right? Help them design the right way. That maximize the efficiency right away and fast, right? But also we help them to how to utilize it and basically put it to work for their families.
That's right.
With different strategies. So, thank you for sharing that. So in the next segment, in fact, we're gonna share with you just a concrete example of just a whole life insurance policy, but designed the traditional way, right? And then you can see the difference between that and design the Prosperity Vault way. Right? And so, see you in a little bit. Stay tuned. And Tyson's here, and this is the next segment of our video, and we just want to show you the difference between different design. Right? Of course, when now we talk about the Prosperity Vault, right? We talking about a non-traditional, flexible, ultra high cash value whole life policy with a mutual company that they base dividends, right? But the key thing is the design here, because there is the old way, or I would say like a traditional way to design a whole life policy, and then a new way, which is the Prosperity Vault way, right? And so in this video, Tan will break down a little bit of the difference, and you can see just a difference in design can make a huge difference. Okay, so I let you lead. Oh, by the way, as you can see on the screen, we talk about a 40 years old male. And in this case, he and his family can save about $1,000 a month. And so his annual or yearly premium is $12,000 a year. And he would like to use this vehicle to build cash and eventually retire in 20 years, which is about 60 years old. And so that's the scenario here that we want to illustrate.
All right, perfect. So on the left side here, this screen right here on the left side, you're seeing this life insurance policy. This is the traditional way. So again, on this far left side, you're seeing the contract premium, $12,000 contributed each year for the next 20 years. At first year, after contributing $12,000, you'll see that on the far right side, you have a net cash value of $3,000. That's actually pretty good for just a traditional, because normally you would not see
Zero.
any cash value for the first 2 years. But this one, you get $3,000.
Right.
So that's better than nothing.
We take $3,000 in liquidity in year one for sure.
For sure. However, if you compare that to the one on the right side, same contract, $12,000 a year for the next 20 years. First year, 12,000 in. Right off the bat, you have $10,113 in cash value available for you to
leverage access to.
to leverage access to put into some other places that you wish.
Yeah.
Right. And then each year, as you put in, you contribute your premium, 12,000 each year, your cash value increases. So the difference on the left side versus the right side, you start off slower with the traditional route, the left side. However, with the new way, the specially designed way, you have more cash value up front.
So in year 7 here on the left side, the old school, right? So when you put in 12,000 in year 7, you can see a net, increase in cash value of 12,857, right? And so you almost kind of like, if you think of this as like a business, then that's when your business become quote unquote profitable, right? Because you put in 12 and you have access to more than that in year 7, right? Now the difference here on the right side is similar situation, but right around year 4. Right? Instead of year 7, year 4, you put in 12,000 that year, and then at the end of the year, you would actually have access to $12,359. And so similar scenario, if this is a business, then, Coco business, then on the new way, the right side, you basically profitable in year 4 instead of year 7.
That's right. That's right. So you can already see that this, by doing it the specifically designed new way of life insurance, you get a head start on your money compared to the traditional way. You get way more than that. So let's just go all the way down to 20 years.
Yes.
After 20 years of contributing $12,000, your total in that time frame is $240,000.
Yes. Correct.
Your cash value right there is $340,000 already. Whereas the traditional route, same thing. You already contributed $240,000. You only have $300,000, which is still better than a lot of vehicles out there.
You put in 240, you have 300 now after 20 years, which is pretty good.
Yes. But if you do the new specially designed way, you will have come up way upfront way more.
Yes.
Right.
And just another thing, just the same year, 20 years in, the difference in cash value between the two policies is roughly about 40,000, right? But you can see also the debt benefits, right? The left one, the old policy, is roughly about $560,000 in debt benefits, whereas the other side is $724,000. That's nice to have, right? Because again, anything can happen in 20 years, and if you graduate or something happen, unexpectedly, right? There's a big legacy benefit for your children.
That's right. Right. And then, of course, these policies were stopped after 20 years. They're paid up. No more money inputted afterwards. And you can still see that it continues to grow. You take, for example, on the left side, year 21, no more premiums are inputted. However, the growth is still by 11,500 into your cash value that year, and then more beyond that. And on the right side, the new special way that we designed it, same thing, no more money in, but that cash value is increased by 14,000, and then more than that each year afterwards. So it's just better. It's better up front. You have more liquidity right off the bat, and your money ends up growing higher and faster, and more death benefit compared to the traditional route.
Yep. And so in this scenario, this person, 40 years old, pay about 20 years in. At 60, he doesn't pay anything in. And basically at 60, he can actually have a really good lump sum to have access to as retirement income, right? So let's see this. I want to see the numbers. Let's see, he doesn't have to put in the money, but he'll just work something else like part-time. But then he would be waiting until he's 75 to really draw income from his policy, right? For retirement. So let's go to, so is it year 35, correct? Year 35. That's when he's 75 years old, correct? So okay. Here on the left side, the old policy when he is 75 years old, which is year 35, correct? Yes. There you go.
Here, right here, year 35.
So year 35, right? The cash value at that time is $528,568, right? And so that's a very good sum to basically use as a retirement income. Now with the Prosperity Vault, right, way to design it, right? The same amount of time at 75 years old, he would have had 619,000. So pretty much almost 100,000 in difference, right?
That's right.
And so again, if you look at the two comparisons, right, the same premium 240,000 in 20 years. On one hand, you know, we have with the Prosperity Vault design, we have really high liquidity in the first year and right away, right?
Yes.
But long term, it's also very efficient because it produces more cash value
That's right.
than the traditional way. And
right.
so
right. I mean, what is our milestone that we always want to hit? $1 million, right?
Right.
Here at year 49 or age 89, this person would have $1 million already.
Yep.
But on the traditional route, this person would have waited until year 54 or age 94 in order to reach that million.
Right.
So
which is not too bad, but I would say, you know, of course, if I were to choose, right, I would definitely choose the Prosperity Vault design.
No difference in your money the amount of money you put in, and you get a better return for it. Then definitely that's the answer. That's the way to go, right?
Yep. Yeah. So thank you very much. This we just want to illustrate, for you to see the importance of the design and structure of a whole life policy with a mutual company that pays dividend, but designed differently and specifically for a good purpose can make a huge difference. So any final thoughts, Thanh?
So you can see there, friends, the difference between the traditional way and the Prosperity Vault way. You get more money that you have access to, not only early up front, but also in the long run. So by doing that, you can definitely help out with your current situation on throughout the years of your years, and also in your family's lifetime, your kids, your generations down the road.
Right. It was just a very simple, generic way to design the policy, and again, as you can see, the design is really key, because when you work with us, we're gonna assess your situation, your goal, your purpose, and of course design the right way for you. And that's what we love, because every person, every situation is unique, right? And so we just want to show you the difference between the old school, right, a whole life, right, and then now the end asset or the Prosperity Vault way to use the same product, but specific, especially designed for you and your family. And so just a start. In the next future video, we're gonna share with you a lot more benefits and features of the Prosperity Vault, especially how we use the Prosperity Vault for kids, right? For family, and build it our parents, kids, and for multiple generations. So that is very exciting. So
that's right. So if you find that this is interesting for you and want to learn more, just reach out to us. We can definitely help you, and we want to help you.
Yep. And we're here for you. Feel free to reach out, comment. Our calendar link is below. Our website is below. There's a lot of good information out there as well on those platforms. So, we hope to see you in the next video. And in the meantime, go out there and live fully and joyfully every single moment. And make sure to be bold, be prosperous. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.